Hi everyone, this is Andrea Karnes from the Modern Art Museum of Fort Worth. And today I thought I would talk to you about one of the most celestial, heavenly works in our collection, a very popular work that maybe some of you have seen across the way from Anselm Kiefer's book With Wings in our ellipse. And the work is called Epic 2 from 2009 by Teresita Fernández. The work is composed of, and I keep saying the work because it's sort of between a sculpture and a drawing and a fully immersive installation. The work is composed of hundreds of chunks of graphite that are mined from the depths of the earth. So there are these irregular shaped chunks of graphite that are affixed to the wall, each with a smudge beneath it. So overall, this very heavy material and all these singular marks and places where the chunks are affixed to the wall, when you stand back from it, creates this very ethereal storm cloud. Or that's what I'm calling it anyway, and I know Teresita has referred to it as that as well. It's really just sort of this unknown abstract field, but it has the overall impression like a brewing storm. So the work really looks to minimalism as well as to the earthwork artists like Robert Smithson as sources of inspiration. So Smithson also used graphite in his work as well as wood and water and stone and onyx. So the use of graphite, the raw material, is a direct reference to Smithson on Teresita's part. By the way, Teresita is Cuban-American, born in Miami, and currently, for a long time now, has lived and worked in New York City. So, actually in Brooklyn. So Teresita had a show at the Modern of Focus exhibition in 2009, and from that exhibition we acquired this work that I'm talking about now. So the work also has a way of implicating the architecture around it because it's seen on a wall of the museum, and it can go up over onto the ceiling or move toward another wall or the corner of a wall. It can also just be frontal on one wall. But in any of those cases, that's sort of a reference also to minimalism, because minimalists such as Richard Serra and Donald Judd spent a lot of time creating works that also implicated the architecture in slight ways. It could happen with one material that breaks up a room or a corner, or in the case of Judd's plexiglass work that's in our collection from 1966, the orange plexi color creates shadows and color beyond just the piece. You know, the same with Dan Flavin with a fluorescent bulb that creates a work with light and shadow. So with this work, Teresita uses one material, but the overall impression has much greater implications than just one thing. And in that same way, it is between a drawing and a sculpture because it is made of graphite. It does have individual marks, but it's also just using the raw graphite material in chunks on the wall. So it's three-dimensional. I mean, if you look at it up close, you can't see the backs of it because it's affixed to the wall, but it's three-dimensional forms that make up the work. So the work is from Teresita's series called the Sfumato series. Sfumato is an Italian word that's derived from the word fumo, which means smoke. And the idea, it's first used by famously used by Leonardo da Vinci, is a technique of feathering the edges to create shadows in such a way that the edges almost evaporate, as in the corners of Mona Lisa's smile, for one example. So this idea is sort of related to the use of graphite and the marks that Fernandez makes on the walls. They sort of evaporate, but at the same time, each individual mark makes up this whole that is, Teresita has said about her own work that it often involves the immersive and the granular. And this work is a prime example of that. We have the immersive stand back and see this giant storm cloud and really feel that you're in the midst of it, or get up close and see the individual marks. So it's both a sculpture and a drawing, and it both implicates the micro and the macro. And it's related to minimalism and the earthwork artists. So I hope that gives you something to think about the next time you're at the Modern and you come to see Teresita Fernandez's work. Thanks.